Hello, 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 hello. Am I on time? I am on time. Hey, everybody. It is 7 o'clock on Wednesday. What do we do every Wednesday at 7 o'clock? I'm Joni Bates, founder and CEO of JB & Co., powered by Keller Williams. And every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, it's Whiskey Wednesday. And we always have fun topics. And we are live. We are live on Facebook business page, Facebook private page, as in personal page, and my YouTube channel. This is also going to be recorded and it will also be on LinkedIn. Housekeeping. Again, we're live. So we just come as we are. Ask me questions. You can type them into the comments. I will see them. They will run across the bottom. And we will answer all your questions. Okay. I hope everyone is doing super good. Spring market has sprung in the ATL. I am located in Cobb County in Georgia, and we are alive and well doing all the sorts of real estate things, writing sorts of contracts. And our average sales price in our area is $420,000. And our inventory is kind of low. And there's a lot of buyers. We did have an interest rate improvement. I'm sure everyone knows about that. We are below 7. We are below 7. And so my phone was popping today. Popping. Okay. Today's topic is something that's near and dear to my heart. It is May. And all of us moms like to joke about May as being May-cember, kind of like December. We are the memory makers. It's a fact. Moms are the memory makers. If we don't plan it, do it, schedule it, drive them, cook for it, it's not going to happen. And just like December with the holidays, we get exhausted, but we make it happen. May is no different. It is graduation season. It is time for any of you who have college grads or who have high school grads. It is time for the parties and all the wonderful celebration that comes around. Kids' hard work, right? Hard work. And not to mention kids' hard work, it also has to do with the parents. Supporting your child through their education. That's some hard stuff. And so good job to you. Good job. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, if you go back and look at many, I'm getting a glare in here, 1 second, of my Whiskey Wednesdays and Wine Wednesdays, you will see that I love me a good college hack. I am an investor at heart. That is how I started real estate, by having multiple streams of income within rental properties. And the way I started my rental properties is something called the college hack. Now, if you know what the college hack is, shout out. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Tell me if you know what the college hack is. It is also known as house hacking. That's another way. If you are a proponent of, hello friend, good to see you again. If you are a proponent of bigger pockets, they refer to this model as house hacking. This is what it basically is. And I've done this 4 times. You have a child who's going to go to college, and a lot of you are in this spot right now. Okay. You are in this spot and you're thinking, wow, not only is tuition expensive, but we have to talk about, where's that kid going to live? Now, if you happen to live near a university, maybe your child's going to stay home and go to school. That's awesome. But if they're not, like all mine did not stay home, they went someplace else. Some universities require 1 year, their freshman year needs to be in a residence hall. But you know what? Those residence halls are getting old, and there's all sorts of, there was one over in Auburn on the Hill that had to be completely torn down because of issues. So those rules are going away. So your freshman does not necessarily have to live in a dorm. But let's look at some breakdown here. The average cost of a state school dorm for 1 year. Does anybody know how much it is? Some of you write the checks, so I know you know how much it is. 1 year in a state school dorm on average is about $12,000 a year. 12 grand for your kid to just live. This has nothing to do with tuition. This is just to live in a dorm. Okay. That's a lot of money. If you happen to have had your kids 2-3 years apart, you might average 2 kids in college at a time. So you do that math and you're going to double it, right? It's a lot of money. So you're looking at your state school dorm cost for 4 years. If you were to do it for 4 years, is about $50,000. $50,000 for your child to just live. And that's one child. Okay. Now let's look at private school dorm. It's about the same. It's $13,000 a year for a private school, which translates to be about $55,000. Okay. $55,000 for 4 years. The average cost of one room to rent in a college environment, college town, is about $800 a month. That's where my sweet spot was, anywhere between $650 and $800, depending on what my houses were. And that was an ensuite. It was a private bath and a bedroom, and that would be $800 a month. Okay, do you see where I'm going here? $800 a month for your child to rent a room from somebody else. So my recommendation, my friends, for the college hack is buy a house. I know, just buy the house. If your kid is going to UGA, buy a house in Athens. If your kid is going to KSU and not living at home, buy a house in Kennesaw. My children are going to Auburn. We bought a house in Auburn. When they were going to college at KSU, we actually had 2 houses by KSU. Here's the reason why I want you to buy a house near the university where your children go to school right away. I mean, if it's your kid's senior year of high school and you've already made your decision and you know what's happening, go buy the house now. Go get it and throw some kids in there already, and then start making money. And then when your kid is ready to go to school, you plop them in to one of the rooms, and then all the other rooms pay you, the landlord, rent. So what did you just do? You just took the investment that you normally would have had, around $50,000, that you would have been spending for a dorm room for 4 years, and you dropped it into a residence, which is going to be about a 20% down payment, about $50,000. And then you're going to, do you see what I'm saying? You're going to make money. Your child's going to live in there. You're going to rent all the other rooms out. And then when your child is done with it, done with that college, you can keep it if you want, or you sell it. You're going to get your initial investment back, plus how that home has appreciated over 4 years, which on average is going to be anywhere from 3 to 7%. And so you will actually make money while your kid is at college. I mean, is it blowing your mind? Because when I was thinking about this many years ago, when my kids first started getting ready to go to college, I was like, why am I? They want how much to live in a dorm? That's crazy. That's just absolutely crazy. I'm going to go buy a house. And so I did it. I did it 4 times. Now, here's what's important. You have to get the right house. And that's when you need to call me, or you need to call someone in the area as to where your child is going to school. The house has to have a decent common area, a decent kitchen, preferably some kind of outdoor space, a deck, maybe a little bit of a yard, plenty of parking. And you want to make sure that there's enough bathrooms. Now, if you are going into a home that's a traditional home and you have a primary suite, which used to be the primary bedroom, but you're not using it like that, that room is going to cost more. Okay. In the homes that I did it, that room was significantly more. It was about $850. And that was room A. And then room B and C shared a bathroom. Those were less. Those were like $650. And then there was a room in the basement that was a little bit smaller. It had a private entrance, and that was $750. Okay. But each one of those rooms actually had a sticker on the door. It said, A, B, C, and D. They all had their own individual locks, the door locked, and each lease for these kids was written as Unit A, Unit B, C, and D. They could all have access to the common area. It's called the university system. I mean, any college town within a large apartment will have 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a common area, and each lease is written for each bedroom. That's exactly what I did. And when you do that in towns like Kennesaw that have ridiculous laws called like brothel laws, where no more than 2 people can live together who aren't related, whatever. You can get around that by using the university system as far as leasing each room individually and the common area being everyone's responsibility. Now, what if you have a child who is at UGA and you have a home at Athens, and then that child is like, you know what, I really want to go to grad school. And you're like, okay, cool. Where? Texas, A&M. Okay, great. Here's the beautiful thing that I want you all to understand. And I have done this twice, and I've helped many people do this. When you can do this with any property that isn't your primary residence. This is called a 1031 exchange. And I am writing kind of backwards. A 1031 exchange. Shout out if you know what that is and you know how much I love it. Okay? This is what a 1031 exchange does for you. Let's say you have a house. I don't know if this is going to work so good for me. No, there you go. Let's say you have a house over here. I'm going to go this way. And this house is at KSU. Okay? Your house is at KSU. And you have your child living in that house and everything's going great. They're there for 4 years. You purchased that house for $200,000. You put down 20%. So that was $40,000. You rented the rooms. So your mortgage every month was covered. Every single month. You never had to spend a dime because all the roommates were paying for that mortgage. Well, now your child says, I'm going to Texas A&M. They're heading to Texas. This is what you don't do. You don't just sell this and then go find this because you made money. It's been 4 years, right? You made some money. Well, don't you want to keep that money, right? You want to keep that money. So you're going to do a 1031 exchange. What that means is you're going to go to Texas A&M and you're going to find a property that your kid's going to live in. Let's say it's got 3 bedrooms. So you got a house, it's got 3 bedrooms. 1, 2, 3. You're going to put your kid in this one. You've got these 2 to rent out. Those 2 are going to pay for the rent, both the mortgage, just like you did at the other university. But what you're going to do is when you list this property and you sell it, you are not going to take the money. I repeat, you are not going to get a check at closing. You are going to be super smart and work with Diane Rice with the Atlanta Exchange, and you are going to send your profit up to a 1031 exchange. This is a tax deferment, okay? Tax deferment. That means you are not going to be taxed for capital gains on the proceeds from your KSU house. All of the proceeds are going to go into your Texas A&M house. It's going to drop right into there, all right? So that means you just bought another house for more money than what you were originally invested, which was $40,000. You are now getting another house for an increased investment, but you only started it with 40. This is a notion called swap till you drop. You basically do 1031 exchanges over and over and over again until your tax bracket changes. Eventually, you will have a capital gains. But the idea is to exchange until you are in a lower tax bracket so that you are not hit with such a high capital gains. right? So what's important to remember here is you have 45 days to identify your next property and 180 days to close from the date that your first property closed. This is the sweet spot within doing the college hack, okay? If you have 4 kids like I do, and they're going to multiple universities, you just start swapping the houses with a 1031 exchange. So your initial investment carries all your kids through college. And you actually, when all the kids are done and you decide that you want to cash in, you will have made money on your kids going to college. It's true. I promise you, it's a real thing. Here's another sweet thing. You don't have to put 20% down on your investment property at the beginning. If you consider it a game day house, War Eagle. My home in Auburn is a game day house. I did not put 20% down. I'm an MSU Spartan girl. My blood is green, but that works for me. I currently have 2 kids who are in the same house in Auburn. It's 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. The roommate pays basically the mortgage, okay? Because it seems like, wow, that's expensive. Like, why would you charge that? Because everybody charges that. To have a 1 bedroom, 1 bath with a common area at a major university is going to be $800. 800 times 3, $2,400. Our mortgage is not going to be that much, right? So you will make money on the college hack. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, this is something that doesn't get talked about. Why are you throwing money away to a university into a dorm or paying some other landlord at a university when you could be doing this? All you're doing is providing a really great service to students at the university, and those students are paying you. I do all mine through Venmo, and then I pay the mortgage, and it's very smooth. I have great relationships with all the parents. They'll call me up and say, "Hey, I've got another kid rolling up next year. Can my other kid take the room of the first kid?" Absolutely. We are having an increase in rent. Oh, that's totally good. We love working with you, Jenny. I never have a problem filling a room, ever, ever, ever. I will say you need to make sure you have a very strong lease that really outlines all the expectations, because it kind of is transitional housing. We are talking about kids here, and we do not want your home to get destroyed. Excuse me, but I do recommend that you do LVP everywhere and pretty much make it indestructible. And then, at the end of the day, when you go to sell it, there's somebody else who's going to want to do exactly what you're doing, or you can just keep running it. You constantly have a flow of tenants. That university isn't going anywhere. Their dorms are going to continue to be expensive. They're going to continue to be overfilled. So your property near a college is always going to be filled. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about the college hack. And again, I've been doing this. This was before I started real estate, how we did things for our kids. And I will say one more thing. There's one more college hack that's a little bit different. This has to do with the 529. I don't really care for them. I would rather buy a house. So if you have a 529 and you're using that for your kids' college, awesome. That's fantastic. When my kid's about 8, 9 years old, I would buy a house and I would rent it. And then when my kid turned 18, I'd sell the house and use that money for their college tuition. And wherever they decide to go to school, I'd buy another house again. And I'd do this. So you are creating a product for other people to live in that normally might not be able to, as far as being in a dorm. Like, good gracious. I went to Michigan State, and being in a dorm was not fun. Not fun. And being in an apartment was very expensive. So all I'm saying is y'all go buy houses by universities and drop your kid in it, and then have all their roommates pay the rent, pay the mortgage. It's fantastic. All right. I'm Joni Bates, founder and CEO of JB & Co. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm a little frazzled today because I've been showing houses today and doing all the things, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about the college hack, because now's the time. Everyone is graduating and parents are getting ready, like, where are we going to go? Or how are we going to decorate the dorm room? Y'all, I know it's fun, but let's think beyond that. Let's think let's buy a house. Buy the house, put your kid in it, rent out the other rooms, and have them pay the mortgage. All right. And I'm going to say War Eagle because currently that's paying for my kids' college. Okay. You guys take care. Talk to you later. Bye.